let's get right into this review for The Roses. Alright, so The Roses is directed by Jay Roach, and the film stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman as the main leads. This is a comedy drama with a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes, which was honestly a really solid length for the story being told here. And in this narrative, we follow a deteriorating relationship between two couples who get more and more comfortable with expressing their thornier sides rather than the rosier parts to their relationship. And now that I've seen the film in its entirety, what did I think about the overall cinematic package? I thought this was a pretty fun time. Didn't really have any sort of general expectations going in, other than just wanting to be satisfied with the viewing experience at the theaters. And not only did I end up being quite entertained, I was also positively surprised with how effective the screenplay was through the various story beats. All the elements like great dialogues, amazing chemistry and acting chops from Benedict and Olivia, and fluid narrative direction helped to kick the story up a notch and set it apart from other comedic romantic dramas out there. There's a level of quality to the overall screenplay and a bit more depth than I was expecting to the cinematic presentation that I was able to appreciate on the big screen, so kudos to everyone involved behind the scenes, and particularly those who worked on the screenplay. I also love how the film starts off in a couple's therapy room, with quite tense dialogues being exchanged between the two of them, before starting the story back from the origin of their romance, where we get to see a start to a relationship that seems damn near unbreakable in their bonds, Romeo and Juliet style. And really, this initial setup helped to keep me interested and curious in seeing how things all fell apart. And after having witnessed their story throughout the acts, I'm here to report that it all plays out in satisfying notes, and the pacing through it all was quite spot on. I also found the film to be a perfect mix of real, absurd, and cinematically sound in its story presentation. The essence of the story was captured perfectly through the visuals, acting performances, and scene directions. Really, all of the story elements fused together nicely and had a good amount of layers and depth to it, which I honestly wasn't expecting much of at first glance from the previews and trailers leading up to the release. As for some negatives to the film though, I will say that I found some of the side characters to be lacking. I'm not entirely sure why the main couple even continued to be friends with some of them. Also, there are others among the side roster who just didn't add much to the story to justify their presence here. Another negative is that not all of the jokes landed, and sometimes I found some scenarios to be way too absurd for its own good as well. With all of that being said, my final score for The Roses is 7.5 out of 10. This was a solid cinematic experience. I had a fun time at the theaters. I think if you are already interested in this film, it's one you definitely should check out at the theaters as well. This was a bit above average in the spectrum of what I typically expect from these types of romantic dramas, which again is only possible because of the well-written screenplay. Anyways, thanks for checking this review out. I'll have another one coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and until my next upload, stay safe out there, and peace.